I can't see everybody yet. Hold on.
Well, I don't think there's that many. There's only 12. What, there's 12 people, but no, I can't see 12.
But I don't know how to do it on my new iPad. Oh yeah, I've got it.
No. I want to
share screen.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
Has she got it on? Oh, she started screen sharing, so we can't see everyone now.
No, she's on that.
Oh, there's Andrea. Hello, Andrea.
Done it.
There's Elaine. Hello, Elaine.
Hello, how is everybody? Is everybody okay?
Fine, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
This is an unusual start to 31st of December, isn't it?
Hi everyone. Hi.
Hi.
There we go.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
I'm not going to run.
I hope our colours aren't supposed to look like Rachel's.
Yeah, I hope they are.
Well, I hope, yeah. Okay. I hope everybody else's is. And
I
mine.
can't imagine it. You've got a lot of flour. You're going to make a lot of dough.
With 80 grams of yeast, I usually use 60 grams of yeast, and I make a lot of challah.
I've got to make half because I didn't have enough flour to make the whole lot.
Oh, Laura, I could have given you some. I've got so much.
No, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
I also thought the salt content was quite high as well.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. There you go.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
How are we doing? You can't see it. You can just have a look over there.
It's a role
Thank
reversal.
you.
I'm upstairs in the office and he's downstairs in the kitchen. It makes a nice space.
Yay.
They're all
Hold on a sec. Hold on.
there's loads of them doing it.
Oh, no. I'm just on the Zoom doing the colour bake.
Okay, so Kelly, do you want to spotlight my video? Can you do that for me?
Lisa, can I ask you a technical question? I know it's the rabbi's. Oh.
Oops, but
You can ask Lisa. I
I
don't
don't want
mind.
them to hear us.
Oh, you weren't there. I couldn't see you on my screen. I've only got 1.5 kilos of flour, the packet. So do I make it to 1.5 kilos, and then what do I do about 3 eggs?
So if you send Nigel round, we've got loads of colour. We've got loads of flour.
But can I mix this alternate?
Do 2 eggs. I would do 2 eggs.
That's what I've done. That's what I've checked. I
Do
checked it. I knew Lisa was the one to ask.
The truth is, the actual recipe that I use is 1.5 kilograms of flour, 2 eggs, 3¼ cups of sugar, 3¼ cups of oil, 2 tablespoons of salt.
Oh my God.
Not
2
3 3/4. You don't mean 3 3/4.
Not 3.
So no, 3/4, 2 ounces of fresh cheese and 3 cups of warm water. We've made it bigger this time in order to be able to say the bracha.
No, it's fine. Okay.
That is actually, so you've actually got the right way. You just won't be able to say the bracha.
Otherwise, Carol, we've got flour if you want me to come up.
No, I've got
pick up
ordinary
the next
flour.
thing,
You can
okay?
mix it with ordinary flour, I don't know.
Okay,
The
everyone,
question.
mute
You
yourselves.
can. Carol, you can. Hear us. We don't.
No, they won't hear us.
Hold on a moment.
Hi, everybody. I'll see in the chat. Hi, everybody at Belmont and that wider world. Hello, Sam.
Yeah. Why? Tell me when.
Okay, next question.
Here's a question. Do you think we could use bread flour? It just says the recipe is flour. Bread flour, flour and bread flour?
We're making bread.
Yeah.
I've got bricks for both. If you're all making it.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
I don't understand. I've never had that in a Zoom meeting before.
Everyone mute. Perfect. Right, now, ladies and gentlemen, am I muted? Am I muted? I am unmuted. Welcome to Grodzinski World. It's like a theme camp for bakers. Okay, so there's a few questions. So before we start, I'm going to invite people to ask the questions that they have, and we're going to ask the Challah angels to answer them, right? Are you a Challah angel? Yes. Are you a Challah angel? Yes. So they're going to answer our questions. So if you've got any questions, put it in the chat, and Racheli is going to read out the questions as and when they come. That way it's just not a kerfuffle. As we're going along, if something goes dramatically wrong, just unmute yourselves and cry out to the world.
No, you don't need to unmute.
Sorry? Was that to me? Great. Hey, Racheli, have any questions come out in the chat so far? Something about dried yeast. What was that?
Yeah,
Mummy answered it. You see, we've got us here in the kitchen.
David Lerner asked how to make salt beef latkes.
Okay, David Lerner wants to know how to make salt beef latkes. Tune in to next week's show where we can do that. Right, we're going to get going already because how many of you want to smell these delicious challahs cooking through your home? You want to and you want to. So a few things that we're going to do, and I'm going to help you as we go along. We're going to make a lot of challah dough right now. As you probably saw, 2 kilos worth of dough, because that's in order that we can make the blessing over separating challah, which we'll explain a little bit later. That's for the second part. What done? Can you show them what? You can show them the challah in a minute. We haven't got to the flour bit in a second. But because we're going to make so much dough, you might be thinking, you don't understand how we're going to make so much dough. There's only so much challah we can eat. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to say, thank you, Donna. 1 second. There you go. Musical flowers. We're going to show you at the 6:30 slot exactly the best way of freezing. I'm going to take my challah. Oh no, it's gone. Stop it. What do they say about not working with rabbis and children? Okay, leave it there for a second. Before we start, no, stop. Mummy! Right, stop. No, Rivka, I mean it. Rivka, stand there. Stand there, or you're going to bed without mixing the dough. There you go. No, they're fine. They're fine as long as they're fine. They're making it comical. Right, listen.
Guys, you're going to bread early if you do it. If you don't stop messing around. Bread, challah, bread.
Thanks. Okay, thanks. At least you found it funny.
I'm on a roll.
You're on a roll. Oh, that was mildly better. Yeah, it's baking in here. Oh, okay. Here we go. Right. Stop that. Right now. The first thing we're going to do is we've got our fresh yeast. So we're making fresh challah. So we're going to make fresh yeast. So I was saying before, by the way, don't worry, we're going to have loads of dough. I'm going to show you how to freeze it, and it comes out this is what we do now. It comes out every week. Beautiful, doesn't it, girls? We have warm, fresh challah every single week, but only make the dough every few weeks. So this is what we're going to do. First, we start with our yeast. So I've already measured out the yeast quantity. So we've got 80 grams of fresh yeast. Or I don't remember what it was. I think it was 28 grams of dried yeast. I think that, but Lisa will confirm. Into that, we're going to take 1 cup of warm water, and we're going to add that to the yeast. So I'm going to get some girls. Do we love the smell of yeast?
No.
Who loves the smell of yeast?
Not me.
Not you. Oh my word. Okay. There we go. Warm water. Now, the trick with this water is you don't want it to be hot because apparently that damages the yeast. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but that's the thing. Right, Rivka, you want to put in the water. Okay, great, I'll do it. So we're going to put that in. Now, to the water and the yeast, we're going to add, mind out, girls, we're going to add a little bit of sugar. Just 1 little teaspoon of the sugar.
Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do the mixing. You want to do that? Okay, take the where are you? Take the teaspoon.
Do the mixing.
You could all both do the mixing, right? Put that perfect into there. One more of those. Let's try not to spill it on the surface though, okay? Perfect. Spoon in the sink. Now we're gonna meaty sink, yeah. Okay, so when the moon hits the sky, like you mix that, hold it with your left hand and mix it with your right. So what is this doing is apparently we're activating the yeast. Not really sure what that means either, but that's what the book says. We're activating the yeast with the warm water and the sugar with the yeast. We're going to give that a good stir. You will notice if you're using the dry yeast, it takes a bit more effort to dissolve it. This one dissolves pretty easily. Let's have a look. Do you want to have a good smell? Ruthie, you want to have a good smell? Scaring off all the neighbours, leave it outside with a fan and it will just woof down. Oh, it's delicious.
Daddy, what does the Challah say to the rabbi after doing them a favour?
Don't know.
It's the yeast I can do.
What can you do about yeast? Okay, you've trained the girls enough. Now, as we leave that to the side, we're going to get our dry. It's really funny, yes. We're going to get our dry ingredients, right? I've got 500 grams of flour weighed out already, and this is strong white bread flour. Now, I've been told by the Challah angels that it's good to use strong white bread flour for strong white bread. Yes, right.
What does bakers like to get for their birthday?
A bun.
Flowers.
How many ounces is 80 grams? Google it. I don't know. I think it's like 4. No, it's about 3 ounces ish. Erin. One second. Half for you. Shake it in. Shake it up, baby. Right. Stop. Now Ruthie, do the other half. Let go. Ruthie, let go. There you go. That's it. Right. Do you want to put that in the bin? It's going to be low stew. Everyone's watching, by the way, so you can have a tantrum or a fit. But let's just stop it with that.
I have to say, this is so amazing just being up here in the corner.
Right.
Serenity. It's like.
Right. Into the.
We're supposed to take 80 ounces of yeast.
Not 80 ounces. No. 3 ounces. I think 80 grams is around 3 ounces, but you have to check. Into the flour, we're going to add the sugar. Add the sugar. Yeah, so that's salt. I've got 2 tablespoons of salt. Oh, sorry, you weren't. Put that in the sink. And we've got, that's Ruthie's turn. You did more flour. All in. There you go. Now, so we've got the 1 cup of sugar in the meaty sink. What? 1 cup of sugar and 2 tablespoons of salt. Now, someone said before that sounds like a lot of salt, but this is a lot of flour. So we need a lot of salt. But there you go. And we're going to mix that with a fork just to combine the flour. And thank you, Ruthie. Ruthie's written her name in the flour that's dusted on. Are we using all the ingredients? Yes, we are going to use all the ingredients.
So I don't think you're using the same bowl now.
Yeah, all I've done so far is mix the dry ingredients. Yes, they want to turn. And now it's going to get messy. No, we don't want one. Okay, now we're going to add the eggs. Okay, now you do it. Rivka.
What am I supposed to do?
Okay, so we've mixed the flour, the salt, and the sugar together. Well, now we're going to put our eggs in. Okay, now some people will make this well business, right? So when I first started doing this, I did the well business. But
how much flour is it? 2 kilos?
Yes, 2 kilos of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of salt, and a partridge in a kid. Stop pushing me! Right, let go. You've got 2.5 more chances. You've got 2.5 more chances, and then you will be banished. Who's going to help me check the eggs? Me! Right, 1 second. It's definitely an egg. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Right, so let's crack it in. So we just checked it's an egg. Yeah, we're using the white eggs, and they rarely have a blood spot. We're still going to check. Have a good look. Have a good look. Do you want to hold it up to the camera so they can see? It's definitely an egg. There you go. Here we go. You think it's... Come here, Rivka, can I have it back? So you can make a well, you don't have to make a well. Some people put the yeast mixture in now and then the eggs, but I'm letting that go for a little bit longer just to make sure it's activated. Let's have a look, darling.
A tiny red spot.
No, that's just you in the reflection, darling. No, who wants to put this one in? Ruthie, put it in. Quickly, just put it in. Put it.
That is
Yeah, all in. No. Egg number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Egg number 2. Okay. Rivka, you check the eggs. Okay, Ruthie, you check the egg. Then I'll check it. What are you laughing at,
Daddy, Challah is like the sun.
Really? Give me a headache.
It rises in the east.
I'm checking for the blood spots. Yeah, this one is not got a blood spot. Straight in, all in. There you go. No, it doesn't need mixing it. Stop it. I really mean it. In fact, put that underneath your sink, please. Okay, and the third egg going in. I was going to try and do it one-handed, but then it would inevitably fail, and I would look even more silly than I already do. So, okay. Oh, that one's got a bit of shell in it. Some might say that will add texture later on. Others might say, don't. By the way, a chef hack trick taught me a chef taught me that the best way to get shell out of the egg is with a spoon. That's the easiest way for now, is a bit of the shell. But when you've got a bowl, that's easier. When you've got a cup, it's not. So a little look, very clean, nice, quite a bright colour looking egg. What's the difference between eggs that are brighter yellow or a more pale yellow? Put your answers in the chat. I really want to know. I think I've got an idea, but I'm not sure. Right, now into the box, into the bowl, we're also now going to put yes, you can pour that in. No, just pour it all in gently. We're going to put our yeast mixture in. We're going to put our 1 cup of oil in. We're going to, and now we need to add 3 more cups of water. What I'm going to do personally is I'm going to add 2 and then add a bit more, because we already used 1 with the yeast and we need 4 in total. Go back to that lukewarm water. So I'm going to add 2 cups of water and have a third one on standby. One.
And Rivka, what are you doing?
What are they doing? I can't watch.
I know.
Okay, so we'll leave that to the side, just in case we need that in a minute. Right, now, this is the part that I love.
Yeah! I want to do it!
They're going to bed. Okay, no, whoa. I'm going to start it off.
Guys, how many additional cups?
Okay, so 4 cups in total was the recipe. But what we do is we put 1 with the yeast, 2 in now, and then a 4th cup at the side that we add a little bit as we go, because it's just next issue. But I'm going to give it the initial kind of mix, because the eggs need to get mixed up. Hello, yes, we're smiling, yes, it's happy. How are you watching this? Lots of people. We've got 39 participants, but I reckon there's a few people that are like doubled up. So there's about 600 people on Zoom and 1,500 on Facebook.
I think you're right. I think you're 100% right, Daddy. Oh my gosh, you're doing such a great job kneading. And I'm assuming you don't need me down there. Daddy's not laughing at my jokes. Oh my gosh, what's going on?
I'm trying to parent responsibly live on air. Okay, so and I'm doing this.
Daddy, fake it better.
Yeah.
I'm completely lost as I couldn't get on. Can we have a quick run through the steps to get me falling behind?
Okay, someone's fallen behind. Okay, so God, what? So God created the world. How far back are we going? 6 days of creation, 7th day he rested. Oh, just from the challah. Okay, what we did was we took 1 cup of water. 1 second. We did 1 cup of water, added that to our yeast with a little bit of the sugar, like a teaspoon or 2 of sugar. We left that to the side. Water should be lukewarm, not hot. And if it's a little bit warm, it will help the yeast to activate. Then we took all our flour, 2 kilos, and added to it 2 tablespoons of salt and 1 cup of sugar. To that, we then added 3 eggs and a cup of oil, then 2 more cups of water with the rest of the yeast mixture, with 1 cup of water left on the side. There you go, all caught up. And if you've managed to do all of that in the last 20 seconds, I will be hugely impressed. Right, so we're nearly there to get the girls in, but it's a bit dry, my one. So we're going to have to add a little bit more of the mayim. What, yeah, you can have a chat. Look at this, said with such innocence. Wait, I still need to put a bit more water in. So let's. I've personally added half a cup of water. I've still got about half left because it's still a bit dry and a bit hard. And you know it's done and ready to start kneading when it's basically not really sticky anymore. It's all kind of come together in one nice dough, no blobs. Okay, Riff, you come to this side, swap sides with me. Thank you, darling. I'm going to add a little bit more water as well. As soon as girls.
Has the yeast gone in there?
Yes, everything's in now. Everything on the sheets has gone in. Probably should have told you that you need an extra egg for later. But that's just for. Okay, so if you scroll up on the chat, it's going to be both of your turns, but I'm not ready for you yet because it's come together really nicely. You're going to get all the flour. I think I'm going to end up using most of this water.
And when was the oil added?
The oil was added with all the wet ingredients. I have to tell you, I've done this many ways and many times, and I don't really think it matters exactly when everything goes in, as long as you get the yeast going a little bit before, just to kind of activate it. So now, it's a bit sticky. This is going to give you a good workout, people. It's a bit sticky, but only for another minute or two. I can always add a bit more flour, a bit dusting if it doesn't sort itself out. I've got flour at the side. Oh, it's so heavy. Right, now.
Tip it out. Tip it out.
I'm going to tip it out in a second. Thank you, my little challah angel. I'm going to give. All right. It needs a little bit more flour because I put a little bit too much water in. Just a little bit. So I'm just going to have not even half a handful of flour, just to. One second. And that should be the final bit of. It's about becoming familiar with your dough, really. Oh, that's nice now. That's nice. Look at this. So if you put a little bit of, careful because it's going up in the air. If you put a little bit of flour on the surface and then roll it out, just wait a second, guys. I'm going to give it a little go, and then you guys are going to have a good mix. All right, and then once there's no lumps of flour and it's not sticky anymore, you've got a really nice dough to work with. It's nice and big, and this is where it's really helpful to have children that want to get involved because you guys are going to have a go at kneading. So essentially now, I've got a dough like that it needs a lot of kneading and it's going to become beautiful and soft and elasticy, but now it's not there. But it's not too sticky. You can't write your name in it. No, it's not too sticky. So my hands have got a bit of muck on them, but it's basically 1 second, guys, 1 second. But now it just needs working, kneading. So, girls, you want to have a go? Right, so 1 second, while I deal with this lot, we're going to go over to Mummy for a few minutes. Well, this needs a good 10 minutes, I reckon, to knead it, especially because it's quite a big dough. So 10 minutes I'm going to allow you all to knead. Put your questions in the chat. And once we've finished talking to Mummy, Mummy, are you there? Khali, can we spotlight Mummy?
I am there. What I've actually done is for those of you who didn't get Belmont email, I attached, there was a PDF that was attached to it that had the recipe and the instructions and a few more thoughts and insights that you can read up on later. And I've actually just put it in the chat as well. And for those of you, there was one question that Racheli missed about the oil. Yes, the oil needs to go in there. And I've just put if any of you got lost, the actual recipe is in the chat there. So a question for you all, okay, as you're kneading your dough. What do you like on your challah? How do you like your challah? So in the Levene family, we all have different preferences. Some of us love with chocolate chips. Some of us hate chocolate chips. Some of us like the crust. Some of us, mummy and daddy, always fight for the doughy bits. We all have a different preference, but one of the things that we all do is when we do Natilas Yadayim, after we say the bracha, there's always that pause until we say the bracha of Hamotzi. And one of the questions that I always think about is, what are we supposed to think about during this time? And I asked one of my teachers in Yerushalayim this question at the time, because generally, unfortunately, as my nature, I tend to just think, I'm starving, I'm hungry, I just want to eat now, like get on with it kind of thing. But what should be our thought process during that period when we wash our hands to actually, when we say the bracha and we eat that yummy challah? And one of the things is, as we've just seen, we've kneaded all the flour and all the raw ingredients together. And all the raw ingredients on their own will not make this delicious challah. What it needs is us, right? So that is the lesson of challah. And that's also a thought that we can think about during this time when we're not meant to be speaking, during washing our hands to actually making to saying the bracha and eating the challah. Is we should be thinking about the fact that we have to invest ourselves in the mitzvahs, and we have to invest ourselves in everything. So just like the challah won't make itself and the ingredients are God-given, we have to elevate everything in the world and make it and use it in a beautiful way. And that's one of the things that we think about. And as Mark was putting in all the different ingredients before, and I'm loving this role reversal, although I'm dreading going down to the bottom of my kitchen. We can also think, although it's not our new year tonight, and it's not, but it is, we do live in the Western world, and it's 2021. And as as you know, I've increased my challah recipe in order 2 kilograms of challah, so we can say the bracha when we come back and take challah. But when we're saying that bracha and when we're putting in those ingredients, there are things that we can talk about. So we can think about the fact that the yeast, it bubbles and it's enthusiastic. So please God, we should have a year that is more simchadik. When we think about the oil, when we think about the salt, for example, one of the things we can also think about is if you put too much salt in, I know in our family I get complaints, and if I put too little salt in, I also get complaints. So it's got to be an exact right measure. So too with all our traits, all the abilities we've been given, right? We can't be too much of one thing. We have to be somewhere in between, and we have to be very exacting in that. Another thing we all need is that 1 cup of water. What does that 1 cup of water do? It molds all the ingredients together. It connects us. And so too, we need the connection of each other. And we also need the connection to Torah and all our teachings to really connect us together. And as we're joking around with all the puns, and I've got quite a lot more of them to share with you, one of the things we need to think about is all the brachas and all the efforts that are going into this dough. If you actually look at the ingredients list, there are 7 different ingredients, but the 8th ingredient is ourselves. We put ourselves in this color, as Ruthie, you can see on screen. She's putting herself really carefully in that thing, because the challah won't make itself. Nothing in this world will happen without our involvement. We need to elevate everything that's physical in this world and use it for a beautiful purpose. And that is the lesson of the challah. And as you can see, the Levenes are busy in the kitchen, and I'm sure you've been following us, or for those of you who have been following us on Facebook, we've had a bit of Levene cook-off, and now I'm a bit tired, and Daddy's also probably a bit tired, but we wanted to share with you the results of the Levene cook-off, because we have had an exciting week, and I promised you that we would be doing that. So let me share my screen now with you, and let me show you the results of the Levene family bake-off. Oh, sorry, I'm just pulling it up. As you're kneading away, let me just share my screen. Daddy, you're doing a great job, and we're just going to show the winner of the great Levene cook-off here. Okay, don't know if you saw it because I was being given instructions at the same time. But Miri was our winner. We all all the burgers went. They were absolutely delicious, and Miri won our Great Levene Bake Off. So thank you so much, Daddy. You've done an amazing idea. Let's hear a shout out to Miri Levene. And Miri, as the prize, got to choose the takeaway for lunch today. And we went for, where did we go for, Miri?
Pizzazza.
Went for Pizzazza. We went for Pizzazza.
Mummy, you done all your talking?
What?
Are you finished your bit or not?
Yeah, I'm finished, Daddy.
Oh, lovely. So, 1 second, darling. So, we've been kneading for about 10 minutes or so, probably, about that kind of time, give or take a few minutes. And if you've never done this before, you'll notice how really nice and like silly putty like that this dough is. So if it's not like that, then keep kneading, but it should be now. If you've given it a good 10 minutes, this amount of dough, you've got all that yeast going, all the gluten's working. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it sounds really posh and accurate. So we're then going to make a ball out of the dough, which I believe you do this by tucking all the bits sort of underneath. So it creates like a ball. I'll bring this to the camera so you can see, tucking all the bits from the side underneath. So if you look at it, you get like a nice ball. And I'm going to put that now back in the bowl that we made the mixture in. So it's got like the residue of the flour in there. There's no lumps, there's no wet or liquid in there. We don't want that. It's just dry flour. I think some people spritz it with a bit of oil or put another coating of flour. I don't think you need to. It's already a bit floury from before. So I'm going to put it back in there like that. We get a towel that's a little bit moist, not soaking wet because then it will drip water into the dough. Just like a regular towel, just spritz a bit of water, cover it, and put this in a warm place or a room temperature or warm place. We put it in our utility room. Yeah, the warmest place in the house. That could be your airing cupboards. That could be not your toilet if you've got a really strong heater in there. That wouldn't be a good idea. We put that in our utility room, anywhere where there's a bit of warmth. In our office, certainly not some of the bedrooms, which are very, very cold. So that on a normal day, that would go for an hour and a half. I would leave that amount of dough to rise. We're going to leave it an hour today. You're still going to get a good rise out of that. So what we're going to do is, yes. 1 second. Well done, Miri Levene. That's what it says. 1 second, Rivka. I'm with you in 1 second. Has anyone got any questions? Has anyone got any questions? Unmute themselves. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, Daddy, what kind of challah has a bad attitude?
Oh. Let me know.
Sourdough.
The sourdough is quite nice. Anyway, thanks for that, Robertson. Does anyone have any questions? Is anyone even doing this? Oh look, I can see. I've now come to the screen. Barbara's doing it. Laura's doing it. I can see Laura's wearing an apron. Who else is having a go? Ah, Elaine, the shirts, the hearts. Look at this. We've got a whole chevra of people. So we're going to leave that now in a warm place. You put it in the utility room on top of that, where I normally put it, on top of the fridge freezer. Perfect. Look at that.
Daddy, do you know why challahs throw great parties?
Why do challahs throw great parties?
They always rise to the occasion.
They always rise to the occasion. But that doesn't all bread rise.
Daddy, just laugh.
Anyway, thanks for that. Mummy, you know what? You can save them all up for the second part. Anything's left. Right. Okay, I'm watching Rivka playing with pieces of dough. That's fun. Right, so what we're going to do, everyone, is... a chef cap. Right, I'm getting instructions from my daughters. Is it straight now? No, is it straight now? We need to put oil around the bowl when the dough in it. No, so you can put a little bit of oil. We didn't because there was a lot of residue flour left in the bowl that will stop it really from sticking to the sides. And because it's not a wet dough, it's a dry dough, you don't really need, I find, you don't really need the oil to stop it from sticking. If you want to, you can, but then it might make the dough a bit greasy a little bit later on. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back at 6:30, which is in just under an hour, when we're going to take the dough out, we're going to portion it, We're going to get a live demonstration. One second, guys. We're going to get a live demonstration from Kelly and Miri about braiding, a 4 braid and a 6 braid, I believe. Oh, you can't hear me because the microphone's here. Sorry, can you hear me now? Right, anyway, you're going to get a live demonstration at 6:30. So come back with your risen challah dough. You're going to see, hopefully, that's risen quite nicely. It's made far too much challah than you can put. One second. It's probably going to make far too much challah, but we're going to show you exactly what to do so you can keep enjoying it over the next few weeks. David Lerner's got a question.
Do you need to add more water than listed if using dry yeast?
Do you need to add more water than listed if using dry yeast? I've never made challah with dry yeast, but you want the right consistency of dough. So you can always add more, either water or flour, to get the right consistency. And challah dough is not a wet dough; it's a dry dough. So you want it to be. I genuinely don't know what I'm talking about. But so I always use fresh. We always use fresh, but if you haven't got fresh, it was 80 grams of fresh or 28 grams of dry. Anyone else got any questions?
Rabbi,
that's my name.
Can you freeze the raw dough?
Oh, excellent question. So we're going to go through the freezing of the raw dough in the second part, but the answer is yes.
Because
we do every week. We make this huge big amount of challah. We've been doing this for a while now. It's far too much challah for what you need for one Shabbos. So we freeze the dough every week. We're going to portion. We're going to make the bracha over all the dough that's risen. Take a little bit off. We'll explain that afterwards. Put the dough into portions and freeze them in portions. And each week we take them out and I'll explain exactly how to do that at 6:30. Any other questions?
We won't be with you at 6:30.
Well, I can't spoil it. Send me an email and I'll send you the instructions.
Thank you very much.
Or come back at 6:30.
I can't.
Oh, well, we'll miss you. We'll miss you. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the Zoom running. We're going to mute ourselves on camera. So join us, but you can either go off and rejoin or just mute yourselves and do whatever you like. We'll see you back here at 6:30. And now for some musical entertainment. No musical entertainment. See you at 6:30. Happy risings.
How do I go out and come back? Leave.
How's everyone doing over there? Wow, I feel like I'm speaking to just myself. Hi, Barbara.
Oh, hi. Oh, I'm not muted. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Barbara. Hi, I'm a bit upset. I need to go and get my dough from the airing cupboard.
I'm waiting for the last possible moment. Then Miriam.
I got my dough.
Can't hear me? Can't hear me.
While we're reconvening, what you can do is start preparing what you'll need for the next part. Right? So what you're going to do, and I'll repeat this a few times to those as the people as they come in, you'll need, if you're going to cook them now, which we are, I highly recommend cooking them now. So you want some baking trays, how many colours you've got. I'd put one on a tray unless you've got a very big tray with some baking parchment. Yeah, 1 second.
Baking tray, baking parchment.
Okay, so today we're going to make 2 colours, one for Shabbaton. So with baking parchment, that's useful to have. You want an egg that's been beaten and an egg brush. If you don't have this, it's still going to be delicious colour. This just helps it to look a bit nicer because we're gonna egg wash it. Look at that terminology, egg wash. You shouldn't need any more flour. You shouldn't need any more flour because, as I said before, the dough is a very dry dough. It's not a wet dough, so it should actually come out really nicely. I put it there just in case I've been proved wrong. So what I've got here is we're going to make the dough into 6, but only use 2. So I've got some large-ish freezer bags here, as you can see them. Large freezer bags. So for every dough, I've got 4 of these bags. 4 of these bags ready for the 4 colours we're not going to make tonight, and I'll explain that as we go. So we've got freezer bags for the colour doughs we're not going to make. Baking trays with baking parchment and baking paper for the ones we are going to make. An egg that's been beaten, ready to egg wash. And then you've got your optional extras, my friends, optional extras. So we've got some sesame seeds, which you can put on if you like it. If you want to be uber adventurous, you can whack in. Should have had these ready to go. I think they're here. Oh, 1 second. You can whack in some chocolate chips, right? And you can make chocolate chip challah. OMG. Or if you want to be religious, Aleph Mem Gimel. Oh my gosh, right? So we did it for the first time last week because
It's not clear.
no one can hear me properly. 1 second.
Rabbi, I can hear you, but I didn't realise you'd restarted. Have you put your oven on? And what temperature?
Thank you, Alison Gelman. I've totally forgot. I was just filling the time.
Oh, okay, good.
We haven't started really.
Oh,
yes, good point. The The oven just went on. I put it on somewhere between 160 and 170. That is totally made up and for our oven, right? If I have it on 170 to 180, I find we like a doughy challah. So I'd rather go short than long. So I'd rather put it a little bit lower temperature for a little bit less time, because you can always cook it a bit more. So you've got to feel your oven and the bread. So as we were saying before, as more people are piling back in, just to confirm, the things that you will need are, we're going to make the challah dough into 6 challahs. That's what we're going to do. You might decide you want 2 inclusive ones, so that's up to you, or you want 8, depending on how you go. We're going to make baking trays. Can you mute yourselves if you're making noise, please? So 2 baking trays for 2 challahs we're going to make. But then for the 4 challahs we're not going to make, we have large freezer bags. And then we have 1 egg that was being whisked up. So we're going to egg wash our challahs that we're going to make. And then your optional extras, don't forget your oven should be on 160 to 170 degrees. Optional extras, sesame seeds. Because you could do poppy seeds. You could do anything like that. So as I was explaining before, last Friday night was the end of the fast of Tevet. And we decided as an uber special treat that we would make our chocolate chip chalahs. So at this point, pardon? Repeat what? What did I just been speaking for the last 10 minutes? Just think about chocolate chips. So last week, for the first time to break our fast, we made chocolate chip challah. So it's at this point of the recipe we're going to add them in. We're not going to make ours this week. It goes everywhere, but it's gooey and amazing. You can put white chocolate. You can put white. I think we did white chocolate and dark chocolate chips. Parab, of course. And you could put raisins in. You could even, if you really want to be wacky and crazy, at the point of which we stopped before, you could put food colouring in the dough. You could probably get away with doing it now, and you could have different strands, different colour. I wouldn't do that, but maybe Purim, you could put, some people in Purim make Purim challahs. They put like hundreds and thousands, and they make it very sweet. We're going to stick to the traditional. So, shall we go get the challah? Kelly, have you got the siddur ready? So, you might also want to get a siddur. If you've got a siddur, Kelly's going to make the bracha for us. Kelly's going to make the bracha for us. So, we're going to get the dough out now. So, as I said before, we like to leave this such a big dough. We like to leave it for about an hour and a half. We left it a little bit less. It's been about an hour, just over an hour now, since we actually put it in the utility room. So what you really want, so the great challah sages say, you really want it to be double in size, which is going to be, Miri's struggling to carry this fella in. Let's have a look. Oh my word. Oh my word. It is. You could move into this. It is that big. Right, so before, I'm just having a little look. It hasn't stuck to the sides, R1. It's a nice challah dough. You can give it a good hit, right? It's a nice big challah dough, and it's going to make a lot of challah. So before we do anything, there is a Torah commandment to give portions of our breads and our stable foods to the priests in the temple, the community workers who would devote their lives to the sanctity, to the temple time. So we don't have that today, but still we have a mitzvah of taking challah. So this is the wonderful, fabulous post-bat mitzvah girl, Levene, who is going to, what page is it in this siddur? It's on page 226. But it's very simple. 1 second, Miri. It's 1 second. It's very simple. Should we explain what we do? Do you want to explain or do you want me to explain? You want to explain? Okay. So all it is, it's one simple bracha. Rachel's going to make it really slowly and really loudly. So if you want to join in with us, you can make this bracha too. You have to, as we said before, have at least, you should have done your 2 kilos. If you've made less than 1.6, 1.7 kilos, you definitely shouldn't make a bracha. But you should still do this without the bracha. And if you've made our amount of challah or more, you definitely make the bracha. And as we take this bit of challah, we do so, we're doing a mitzvah of making this, and we'll do so, and we're going to add in, we don't celebrate New Year's Eve in our family. We have Rosh Hashanah, we have enough of the Yom Tovs to do that. But we do acknowledge that 2020 is almost behind us, and 2021 will, Be'ezrat Hashem, God willing, bring with it only blessings and good things. And as we take this challah, as we make the blessing, we have in mind all of those that need a refuah shalema, all of those and the people I'm thinking of. We are thinking of the people that need to be healed from their illnesses, people that have been sick and that need a speedy recovery. We pray for all those people in the world that are suffering in whatever that means, people that are trying to get married, people that are trying to have children, people that are pregnant and need and want a safe delivery, please God. There are so many people all over the world. We don't know what crises they may or may not be in. So now as we do this mitzvah and we take this challah, we're going to have in mind, please God, it should be with blessings. Everyone should find peace and happiness in the zechus of our doing mitzvahs. Agreed? Okay, so we're going to put our hands on the challah. It has to be hands on the challah, but it's in front of us. And Chali's going to make the bracha really slowly, one word at a time. If you want to say the bracha, have your dough ready and off. 1 second, yes, quickly. Okay, don't worry. Okay, thank you, darling. Anyway, one word at a time. Say along with the Chali, nice and loud. Have kavanah, have intentions for all the things we're davening for. Be'ezrat Hashem, go for it. Nice and slowly, nice and loudly.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu lahafresh challah min ha'isa.
Amen. Lahafresh challah min ha'isa. Take a chunk of the challah, and what do we say? Harei.
Harei zu challah.
Harei zu challah. This is the challah. Now, what do we do with this piece of challah, Racheli Levene? Tell us what we do.
So we're going to need to double wrap it. So either double wrap it and then burn it in an oven, or you can double wrap it and chuck it. We double wrap it and chuck it, but you can do whatever you like.
Yeah, so that piece of challah really should be going to the priests. We should be making them fresh challah bread. But we don't have any priests around or time. So as Chali says, we double wrap it. You kind of throw it in the bin. You can put it on the hob. You can put it in the oven, as some people do. Now, if you've got at home, I've got to get this out before. Where is our? Here it is. What are you looking for? If you've got a pastry cutter thing, then that's what you need. I've got a pizza cutter that we keep for meaty. Only a rabbi would have a pizza cutter for meat, right? But here we go. So we've got the dough. I don't know if you can see this now. Let's move all the stuff out of the way. Kelly, do you want to wrap this up? Taking what, darling?
Look at this.
1, 2, wrapping up a few times. Going to put it in cling film. Into the bin it goes. You can, again, don't put cling film and then put it in the oven because that would be very interesting. Right, here we go. Here we go. So we're going to put this in. We're going to put this into a log so we can cut it as evenly as possible. If you want to be very religious about this, you could weigh each piece, but we're not that religious. Let's be honest. Okay, so flatten it out. Best way. Find the middle point. Miri, you think it's about there? Middle point. It's about there, and then we'll do the middle, and we want from this side we want 3 pieces, and this side we want 3 pieces. So about there. 1. Do we think that's about right?
This piece is bigger than this.
I think this is bigger. We can always do it by feel. So we're going to get this into 6 pieces to make 6 challahs. These are going to be pretty decent sized challahs, even if it doesn't look so now. Now, even if you haven't preheated your oven, it doesn't matter because these need to rise again. So, which we're not going to wait around for this time. So Miri is going to knead that a little bit more. Don't have to do too much kneading. Just give it a second, Miri, because I want to make sure these are equal. So Miri is going to braid our first challah. We're going to do 2 braids. Miri, what braid are you doing? What number braid?
I'm doing 4 braids.
Miri's going to do 4 braids. Very simple. Do you want to see if you can fill these around the same size?
So this is very big.
Just fill it with your hands. I'm just going to cut it into the 6 pieces we need. If you're doing this along with us, great. And then we'll just do it that way. Okay, so do we fill these around? Should we weigh them? We don't need to weigh them. We never weigh them. I think I weighed them once. So yeah, we're just going to use our...
How long do you have to leave it to rise for the second
The second rise, again, really up to you. Some people wait half an hour. We usually wait about 45 minutes because we want a good rise. A good rise is always a good challah. He says, I have no idea. You could try different things. They feel about this, I feel about equal. That feels that, that feels that. That feels a bit bigger actually. So let's go to this one. Okay, so now, one second, Miri, before you do that, we've got 6 balls of challah, and we're going to keep 2 back for today for this Shabbos. Let's fill that one. Okay. Some people want to need them again. Now, the crucial part. We've been known to do this on a Sunday and freeze the lot until later on in the week. I'm going to explain that. But whenever you do that, ball of dough straight in the bag. All right?
Make sure to close it like
Wait for it. Ball of dough straight in the bag. So as I said before, we're going to do 4 for the freezer and 2 for Shabbos. 1 for Friday night, 1 for Shabbos lunch. And then the last one. Now, the best thing to do now is when you've got your dough in the bag, you want to try and get all the air out as much as possible and then seal it really well. I won't do them all now. I'll just do the one. And then, once that's happened, you bung them in the freezer. Now, this is the trick. This is the trick that works for us every time. Got our ball of dough in the freezer. Got our ball of dough in the freezer bag. See that? All the air is out. Put it in the freezer tonight, right? Then next week on Thursday night, take it out of the freezer before you go to bed and put it in the fridge. Friday, right? Friday during the day, take it out of the fridge and put it back in the warm place about an hour to an hour and a half before you want to actually braid the challah. So it's been in the freezer all week. The night before you want to cook them, you can do it Thursday, Friday, whatever it is. The night before, put it from the freezer straight into the fridge. The day you want to cook them, about an hour to, we usually do it about an hour and a half. Before you want to cook them, before you want to braid them, take it out of the fridge, put it in either room temperature or a warm place. Just open the bag. I open the bag just because it's going to rise again. It's going to rise a little bit more in that process. Then you braid your challah. Whack it in the, let it rise again, as we're going to do now, and then you whack it in the oven. So essentially, it's literally like you've just made the dough every single week. So we've made a big batch. We've got 3 Shabbos' worth of challah for us in our family. That's exactly what we do. I will repeat all of that afterwards. But in the meantime, we've got to go a bit slower. Miri has now taken her challah dough, and she has made 6.
No, 4. I'm doing 4.
Are you doing 4? She's making 4 equal balls out of her one dough because she's going to do a 4 braid. 4. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera. So people, I'm going to move these. So I'm going to leave you, Miri, you come stand around this side so people can see. I'm going to see if I can move the camera a little. Miri, you need to talk while you're doing it.
So I'm splitting one of my pieces and of challah, and it's about the same size now. So I'm going to start by rolling
What's
one.
that doing?
I'm going to start by rolling one piece. I'm going to leave my other piece over here, and I'm going to start rolling this one piece. You can put it down and then push it down, and it will spread out. I like to make mine long, about this long. And you might want to quickly
move this out
of
the way
because it shrinks. So I've got one piece. I'm going to go to my next piece.
Isn't she doing great, people? We love Miri! Woohoo!
I'm going to put it on the table and start rolling it again. Some pieces of the sun side are bigger than others, so we're just going to go back to that side and spread it out. So this is about the same size. And then I'm going to take the third one and start rolling it out. You can start with your hand and then go back onto the table and roll it out and spread it out as you're rolling. It's not the easiest thing ever.
You're doing great, Miri. We love you. Woo!
Okay. So I've got 3 pieces. Now finally my last piece. I'm gonna come a bit round here.
Mary, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Does it matter if they're not exactly equal? Like that's a bit thinner in the middle. Does it matter?
It doesn't matter because
It doesn't.
You can't really see it when it's.
It doesn't matter.
You can't really see it when it's not breathing.
You can't see it once it's been. You know, trust me. When you're not munching into this warm, delicious colour, you're not going to matter.
Okay. You want to try and make sure that they're not like sticking out bits. You want to make sure it's like good and large and thin. Okay. So now at the top here, which is for your bottom, I'm going to pinch them all together. Okay.
Go slow, Miri, because people need to keep up with you.
I'm going to spread them out like this, and I'm going to take the one on
Just
the right.
one second. Is everyone with us? Do we need to go a bit slower?
Can you go slightly slower, please?
Slightly speak like this. And we're going to pause here for
Especially now, because I get very confused with the plaiting.
It's all right. So this is why we've got girls, right?
We've got 4 pieces.
Look on TV. Okay, wait.
Can I just stop and say, if anyone gets confused with the plaiting, because I've got 4 girls and I'm the worst platter ever.
I can repeat it again.
But what I do when I do it myself is I roll balls, and you can do as like big knedlach if you like, one in the centre and all the way round, and then it ends up coming like a crown. And we call that a pull apart colour. So if you're really stuck and this is too much, then I can teach you how. It's really, really easy. Maybe Daddy, while you're waiting, you'll just at the side show them the pull apart, just so that you can just show one go.
Okay, Kelly's gonna. So just to make sure everyone's with us, we took that 4. We took that 1 challah dough. Just wait. So that 1 challah dough and made it into 4. FYI, you think that's hard? The next one that Kelly's going to do is going to be 6.
But it's really easy. If you just follow what Miri's doing now, it's very similar to that.
Very, very easy.
It really is.
What are you talking about?
This is one we pull apart.
Oh, no, yeah, what are we doing now? Yeah, you just put that into...
Make a ball and then do you have to make 5 or 6 equal balls. Put one in the middle and then you do balls going around.
But they should all be touching, and then when they rise a bit again before the oven, they kind of all mush together. In the oven, they all go together, and you've got like 5 or 6 colour rolls. You've got a round dish to put them in, even better. Thank you very much, Khali. So 1 second. Are we with Miri now? We've got 4 long. By the way, the beauty of this, if you muck it up, you just start again. You just smush it all together and do it again, right, Miss?
Yes.
Wait. Can we go ahead now? Anyone? Okay, I think let's do it. Let's do it. Go for it, Miri. I'm with you.
So it's very easy. Just need to know the main steps. So the first one on the right goes over the next one. It goes over.
Okay, so the very right, just move it over once.
Like,
yes, Miri?
Okay. Then the third piece over here is gonna go on top of that piece. So the piece that is still the right piece goes under the third piece.
So the far right piece started, it went over the one to the immediate left of it. Then all she's done is swapped the middle 2 now. That was step 2. Okay, so the middle 2 have swapped. Yes, next one.
Then still the one that was on the right over here, that's moved
just start from now.
that goes under.
You've confused me already. Okay, 1 second. So,
okay. So now it's the left piece.
So yeah, so the one that is now from the right, 1, 2, 3, that goes to be the last one on the very left. Yes.
Yes. Make sure to tighten them up as you go along. Okay. After we've done this once again, we're going to let go of these, but let's do this one more time.
What do you mean let go of what?
Whatever.
Okay. Just slowly. And so now what we're going to do again, the same thing.
The far right. It's not the left one that we put over here.
The far right.
The right one, and we're going to put it over the second piece.
Far right over once.
It's basically over, under, over, because it's going under the next piece and then over the next piece.
Oh, that's so clever. We're going to do that each time. So you're going
Yes,
over, under, over with every far right piece, yes?
Yes, but now, since we've done it twice, we're going to take apart the top pieces, and then afterwards we'll rebraid those.
Okay, we're going to rebraid those at the end, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have to do that bit now.
You
You
don't
don't have to. Okay.
No.
So essentially what you're doing, I'm learning this for the first time, is every right hand piece, you're going to take that over, under,
make sure
it's tight.
Over, under, then over, so it's the left piece.
And
Right
again,
piece basically goes to the left, going over, under, over.
so you're working your right piece every time. That's what you're doing. Over, under. So go all the way now, Miriam.
Over, under, over.
Oh, it's looking
See,
cool.
now you've got,
Now it's starting to look like a colour.
it looks very good so far. Now we're going to take this skinny bit in the middle.
Wait, Miriam, let's have a look so we can see that. Hopefully you can see that now. Okay.
Okay, now you're going to take the right piece again and keep going over, under, over. You might need to keep stretching your pieces out a bit. So just go over, under, over. And as you can see over here was a bit of a skinny bit, which you can't really see.
They can't see that. It's fine.
But
Keep going.
it's a bit
Miriam.
skinny, but you can't really notice it.
You can't notice
it's
that now.
basically normal. You could just keep on stretching it, but make
So
sure
how does it go at
tight.
the end? What happens now? We're basically at the end.
Okay, just keep trying to do it, even though it's so very
You
hard.
can pull
it's
the
very
end bits
hard.
a little bit, stretch them a little. They've got a bit of give to them.
Okay. For the last time, and then I'm going to fold over the rest of the pieces.
So at the very end, you kind of just tuck the miniature ends underneath.
Now I'm going to turn my colour over if that's possible.
It should be possible. Everything's
And
possible.
Remember, take the far right and go over.
So you rebraid the end. The end that we smushed together at the beginning is now this end, and it's now being braided.
Over, under.
I'm looking up. I can see a few faces that are like proper pro expert at colour making, and they're looking at their apple going, "What are you trying to teach us?"
Okay, so now over here I've got a very long but perfect.
Oh, Miriam Levene, look at that. That's amazing. 1 second. So then that goes, lift that into the middle of the tray.
It is very long.
That is a long one. Kanana Ora, look at that.
Fantastic. You might want to. So,
oh, Ziggy.
A perfect.
How
colour.
unbelievably awesome does that look, Miriam Levene? Right?
And it's going to make it go even bigger than that.
It's going to get big. So that's quite a long one. Now,
It's gonna make it that long.
we're going to leave this.
Miri, you're amazing. You're amazing.
Ellie, over to you now.
Amazing. I can't believe us.
Can't believe our sister. Now we're going to look at our eldest sister, right?
Okay. So what you do is you need to, with this piece of dough, you need to make 6 balls, basically.
So if you hadn't had enough, 6-1 is going to be slightly different, but have fun with it. Oh,
I only learned this myself last night on YouTube.
don't tell them that. We've been doing this for years.
Yeah. Okay. But they have
Want
to
a hand,
be equal.
yeah?
Yeah.
Just to make it a bit of time. Are they equal?
Yeah.
So let's get a bit of help. Bit of daddy. What's not clear?
You just need to, I think, just like go out the way and normal.
Right, I'm just going to help.
Okay, so right now we haven't really done much. What we're making 6 round balls, and then we're going to start rolling.
Wait, you happy with these to make sure they're all the right? They need to be the right size, right? I don't want to help you because they might not have any help at home. So, okay, let's go rolling. So let's move all these out of the way. And you'll notice with this dough, it's a dry dough, so it's not wet and sticky. So you don't need that extra flour that we talked about.
And one comment is just thank you to my grandmother because she taught me how to roll the dough properly. And as Miriam showed you before, you lightly and then you squeeze out the edges. So just thank you, Grandma.
No. Also for like just everything our grandparents do. They are pretty awesome people.
Yep. They really are.
Right, we just need to reshape it a bit now it's in there. Okay, Kobe?
Yes, darling. You
No,
can't
you
see
don't
Rachel's
need to,
face
you don't need
because
to,
we
you
can't see Rachel's face because we need to be able to see the. Maybe if I do that.
No, you really don't need to see my face.
We need to see the colour. As much as we love Rachel's face.
So that's about how. I don't know what the camera is. That's about how long it should be, and then he just puts it in front.
So, is it same as the 4 braid?
Yeah, just put them all in front. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move this one just out of the way.
I thought Mira was doing a different type. That's why I thought it was similar. So it's going to be different to the 4th one.
And remember, they're going to get bigger. Firstly, when they rise now, but also in the oven, they're going to get bigger.
They're going to be ginormous.
They're going to be ginormous.
Yep.
So we like to listen to music while we do this.
Yeah, makes it a bit less awkward.
Now, if you are struggling,
I can tell more jokes if you like, Guy. You told me I was.
Just one second. If you're struggling to keep up, please note we're recording this, and it's going to go up on YouTube later tonight, and you can request the link for this, so you can watch it back. And
Yes, Daddy, can I just say 2 things? Ask 2 questions. Omar's just asked the question privately. How long in inches, Daddy, do you think Racheli is rolling it out for?
somewhere between 1 and 50.
No, I'm not really. It really doesn't matter as long as they're all the same size. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
This one isn't.
Okay. And the other thing that Judy just mentioned is she's 100% right. If you're a bit like me and still can't see straight because you're being outshone by your daughters who are talented platters and you can't plait like me, if you do a round pull apart colour, you use round cake tin liners. And they all have to stick together and then they all come up and it looks like you're a fantastic platter and baker. So don't worry, there is a way out of this if you're not a great platter.
If you're not a great platter, you can still learn.
And if there's a bit of awkwardness, then you want me to carry on with my jokes, I'm very happy to.
Go for it. Go
Yeah,
for
Mummy.
I love it.
How does colour relax after it's finished baking?
How does it relax?
Yeah.
How?
It loafs around. I tell you the joke about some butter on a piece of challah, but you might spread it around.
Oh.
What did Mummy Challah say to her kids? Which is what I'm going to say soon.
it. It's bedtime.
Or
It's way past your bread time. What did one slice of challah say to another after a long Shabbos? Don't worry, tomorrow will be butter. How does challah remember things?
How does it remember things?
It uses Post-it notes.
Oh.
Come on, Cynthia, I can only see your face on screen. It's funny. It's funny. Here, what other one? What other one should we say? Oh, yeah. Do you need me?
Mummy, can I make her a special request, please?
Do you need me?
Yes, that I stop.
No, another request. Is
Yes.
that Rick to say one of the jokes?
Oh, Rivka. Which joke should you say?
Okay.
Let's get a photo together.
No.
The 2 slices of bread run away from the from Krasinski.
What? 2 slices of bread run away from Krasinski.
Why did the slices of bread run away from Krasinski?
They wanted to grow mold together.
They wanted to grow mold together. Yeah, and Ruthie's going to do another one. Hang on, wait, let Ruthie do one.
After that, Mummy, we can start with the braiding.
Here. What's this one? This one. And wait, Ruthie, can you see? Can't see Ruthie. Here we go. Up here. The number. What do?
Okay. What do colour kids Hi kids say during hide and seek.
What do Challah kids say during hide and seek?
What do they say?
Ready or not, here I come.
Ready or not, here I come.
Here I crumb. Okay.
Okay, so
Right. 1 second. Anyone that wants to do the 6th braid, are you with us?
Yes, but go very, very slowly, please.
okay, we're gonna go very, very.
No, hang on, wait. Before we do that, can I get a bit of feedback on my jokes? They're really good, guys.
Mummy, they're amazing.
Yeah. Call go, Mummy.
What?
Mummy downstairs until the kitchen's tidy.
Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna pinch them all together at the top.
Like before.
Okay.
Do you put the challahs in the oven straight away, or do you have to leave them to rise for a bit?
Excellent question. So we're going to let these rise for about 30 to 45 minutes back in the warm place before putting them in the oven.
Okay. So,
Okay, good.
so now they're all pinched together, you're gonna take the 2 outer ones, that's what I'm gonna call them, and you're gonna swap place. They're gonna swap places.
So the 2 outer, nice and slow. 2 outer ones cross over to swap places.
Okay, so now you've got.
Keep going. What's next?
You take the one that's on top of the other one, if that makes sense.
Which one? You show me which one.
This one.
You take the one now to the far left.
Okay, and you put it in the middle.
The one on the far left now goes to dead center.
Right. Now on the other side, on the right side, you take the second one. So not the one that's on the outer side, but the second one.
Yeah.
And you cross that over.
That becomes the far left now.
Yeah. Okay.
Just stop. Just let us know. So that last step, the second from the right becomes the one on the far left.
Okay. So now we're going to do the exact same thing. So the right one in the middle. The second.
Well, slowly, guys. The right one then goes to the middle, and the second from the left goes
onto the outer side.
To the outer side.
On the right. Okay. Now the exact same. The left in the middle. The second on the right. Of the right on the outer side.
Wow. Is this repeated now the whole way?
Yeah, repeated the whole way. Right in the middle, second of the left on the outer side. Left in the middle, second from the right on the outer side. And same as mirror, you might need to stretch it. Right in the middle, left on the outer side.
How long do you put it in the oven and out of 10?
I'm going to do that in a minute.
Okay, so you just keep going until you get to the end. Okay, so this is actually getting really difficult now. Okay.
Now what happens at the very end, Michael?
The very end, you just try and pinch your way through.
Try and just keep doing what you were doing. You can stretch the dough a little bit if you need. Wow, it looks awesome.
If you need. Sorry.
Thanks, Mummy. Appreciate that.
Rivka's got another joke, Daddy. Can we share it?
Can we just wait a second? Let's just.
Okay, now when you get to the tiny bit, you get the last 2 here. Now you're about to braid in, but they're too small. Just tuck them under. And then just tuck the rest under, basically. And the last 3. You have to be really...
And what do you do about this?
And the top side, either you can just leave it if it looks good, or you just tuck it under.
Don't tuck it under. They don't need to tuck it under. That actually looks good.
Because it doesn't... When you actually take it out of the oven, you're not going to notice the difference.
It's true, actually. It's true.
Whatever mistakes or something small you made when you take it out of the oven.
Can I say another joke?
It's so awesome that you. Big round of applause for Teddy Levene. One second.
Joke.
Daddy, can we say another joke here?
Go on.
Well,
No.
what the worst thing about challah pan?
What's the worst thing about a challah pan?
I don't know.
Tends to get stale.
It tends to get stale.
Oh. So,
And the last one.
Okay.
This one.
What part of a slice of challah is the most sophisticated?
How many?
Upper crust.
What part of a slice of a challah is the most sophisticated? The upper crust.
thanks, Mummy.
And
Okay.
the last one for the night, just for Ruthie Levene. Go on, it's a shame.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
Wait, move out the way. Move out the way. It's a shame.
It's a shame that challah pans. It's a shame that challah
Are always.
so comfy.
It's a shame that challah pans are always so crumbly. Okay, Kheli and Miri, kola kavod, it looks amazing, and no look at the contents of my drawer because it looks disgusting from afar.
Okay, so Miri's holding more brain.
Kola kavod, looks unbelievable.
Okay, thank you, girls. So this is what's going to happen next, right? Thank you very much. A round of applause for our girls. Thank you very much. So what we're going to do now, in a minute, when we go off camera, which is almost there, is cover them with another piece of baking paper, like that. If you've got them in a deep dish, then you can just put the towel over again, but we haven't got them here. So that's what you can do. They're going to go in the warm place 30 to 45 minutes, and then they're going to come out before they go in the oven. We take the egg wash and we give it a really good wash. And then if you want, you can put it no sesame seeds, no poppy seeds, or you can put sesame seeds, poppy seeds, whatever you like. When we made our chocolate chip challah, we kneaded in the chocolate chips before we did the braiding. So each log, each sausage, each strand had chocolate chips kneaded in. You have to push them in a bit. There's a bit of an effort, but they do get cooked in really nicely. You could do it with raisins. You could do it with 100 other things. I had a peanut butter challah once. I've had, we went to someone's house, they made like an apple challah, or you can use your imagination. I think the fresh warm colours are the best. So these are now going to go in a minute into the warm place for that period of time. The oven's on to about 160 to 170. I'm going to suggest middle of the oven, 15 minutes. Take it out, have a look. You might decide it needs another 2 to 6 minutes, depending on your oven, depending on how you like it. Personally, I like it a little underdone, and we've got it down to that 50. I think for us, again, this one's quite big, this one's a bit smaller. You just have to work it out. But what we want more than anything is send us your pictures. Take a picture, put it on Facebook, either general Facebook or the Belmont one. Tag us, tag Rav Mark Levene or Lisa Levene. If you don't know how to do that, email us the pictures and we'll put them on Facebook. Let's share the love this week, next week, whatever it is. We want to see your attempts. We'll be doing ours later on this evening. We're going to cook ours now. The nice thing to do tomorrow, right? These are freshly cooked tonight, and you're going to want to eat them tonight. But what we do, once they've cooled down, and they really have to get to a decent room temperature after the oven, we wrap them in loads of tin foil, and they go onto the hot cupboard. They go onto the urn, if that's where you want to put it. An hour or so before you want to eat it, it warms them up in a nice way, beautiful way. You've got as if they've just come out of the oven for Friday night, for Shabbos lunch, warm, fresh challah. If it was up to me, they'd go in about 5 seconds tonight. But there you go. Any
quick
questions?
question, Abba. Yeah. How long did you say you put yours in the oven for?
So I usually start at 15 minutes and then add in a couple more minutes here and there, depending on how well they need to be cooked.
1-5.
Huh?
1-5. 15.
Yeah, 1-5.
And what did you say about if your challah's in a deep tray?
Oh, I would have put a towel over instead of the baking paper. but just because it's not in a deep tray, so I've just put the baking
Oh,
powder in.
okay. Thank you.
But Alison, you should know, 15 minutes. Mark likes his challah very doughy. So, like, if you like more well done challah, then have it a bit longer.
No, Lisa likes it well done.
I like it well done. I'm more of a kosher. What's it called, Mark? Not just kosher kind of girl.
Yeah.
Gonna lie.
I had mine for 25 minutes.
Okay.
I have mine on a much hotter oven, so you get a really nice crust, but still for only 15 or 20 minutes, so it's soft. But I have it on a bread baking, 220, and it's fine.
220 for 15 minutes, you get a crust.
Yeah, on my oven it actually says bread baking. It's an F or whatever. But if you have it hot, obviously watch it. Don't let the crust burn. But you get a really golden crust. If you make rolls, they literally need about 8 to 10 minutes, and if you make the loaf, it's like 15 or 20. Just
depends on the size of the loaf as well.
Judy.
Yeah.
Judy, can you come round to my house? I've been doing this.
You can join me tomorrow. I'm making it with my grandchildren tomorrow.
And actually, a public thank you to Judy, because she was the one that told me about the dry yeast. So I've never used dry yeast in my life. And Judy's the pro, and she said you'll get more people if you talk about dry yeast. So thank you, Kol Hakavod, and thank you so much, because more people joined because of your dry yeast efforts.
And I made your recipe with dry yeast. It seems fine. We tested it.
Sorry, Julia, you can't have her.
I know. I want her here now because you're all quite fortunate. I never had girls, so I could plait their hair, and I just don't know.
Phone me afterwards. Google it.
Julia, I have 4 and I still can't plait.
I can't plait, and Nathan did it instead because I can't. Nathan's plaited it, so we won't ask how he knows.
But if you Google it, there are loads of brilliant ones just to watch, not to make. Brilliant ideas.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Julia, phone me afterwards. I'll give you the instructions.
Anyone want to hold up their attempts at plaiting so we can have a look? Does anyone want to hold them up? Can we have a look?
Hold up.
Oh.
Okay, one second.
Not one of ours.
Wow, lovely.
Andrew Winthrop, let's have a look.
Oh, very nice.
Very
Not
nice.
bad, Andrea. Not bad at
Oh,
all.
nice one. This is
Very
Nathan.
good. Very good. Oh, wow.
Oh, Carol.
That's a nice one.
Can I say, I have never in my life plaited properly, and it's thanks to Miri that I learned how to do it.
Yeah, thank you, Miri. Me too.
It's the first time I've been able to plait, but I don't know what it's going to taste like. I might be in Grods tomorrow morning.
Oh,
I won't be, but it was Miri. It's down to Miri. Down to Miri. Thank you, Miri. Oh, the rabbi did very well too, but Miri was brilliant.
Braiding
thank
was
you
good.
very much. Thank you.
Can we have a look at yours?
It's amazing. Thank you.
Oh, one
Thank
second.
you very much.
Anyone else want to show us? I'm having to look through the screen. Anyone else?
Not as good as Miri's.
Stay there and just be polite. Just watch.
Oh, look at.
Oh, okay. Very nice, Barbara.
Guys, well done.
Okay, just wait. Okay, hang on.
Hi.
Big Waters, 1 second. I have to find you.
Oh, Waters. Yes.
Oh,
Wow.
very
Stop it.
good. Brilliant. She's got 3.
Julia as well. Julia Morrison Wood.
Julia Morrison Wood is still trying to
You need to go to evening classes.
Oh,
I'm so stressed. Mine was really very hard.
Julia, we're kindred spirits. I love you. Go for the balls. I'm
Julia, do you want some cakes and liners? I can drop you those in, and you can put them in there.
What about those pictures they sell in Hadar that look like a challah when you just put the dough in?
Oh yeah.
Not as
Yeah.
good. We don't want to do that.
No, this is just a paper. It's a round thing. So you
It doesn't get cooked properly, Alice.
put your balls in. Put the
Sorry,
challah balls.
Rabbi.
If you put it in those molds,
Yeah.
it will look right, but it won't cook right because you want it
No.
to bake freely. If you scroll down and look at Racheli Levene's profile pic, They are the challas we made last week. The chocolate chip one and the plain one. You can have a look there. Can I spot? I can't spotlight her video, can I?
Or you can look, Daddy, at my status.
Oh,
On my status on WhatsApp, I've also shared the picture. So just have a look there and you'll see Rachel.
Hi, Kelly. Now, snap there. You go.
Oh, wow.
Lovely.
Oh,
my goodness.
The only thing I would say about the
Oh,
chocolate
very
chip
impressed.
challah,
It was very rich.
the only thing I would say about the chocolate chip challah, which Daddy doesn't like, is on the challah board, it gets all gooey and ooey and ooey. So you might want to, if you're going to cut it, you might want to actually get a proper cutting board.
Yeah. Be fluff in my challah.
What about sultanas, Lisa?
Yeah, so I would love that, but my girls would not. So we have them. But I'll tell you what Robertson Kaplan does. She does crushed sea salt on it at the top.
That's nice.
Oh,
that is really, really delicious. So you can play around with it.
I'm hungry.
And we're excited to see your creations.
I've already eaten half of mine. It's so nice. It's terrible.
After it's cooked, it's very, 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 very nice.
Thank you. That is amazing.
Send all your complaints to us.
Daddy's department, the braiding, how it looks is ours, but not the taste.
Lisa, I've WhatsApped you how to braid from my cookery book.
You know what? Before we got married, I got told that Mark was an excellent baker and he loved cooking colours. He was great with children. He was great with art and magic and all this. He could sing and all this. And so now he's gone back to, during lockdown, he's gone back to his colour making pre-single days. And I'm quite happy. I'm not going to lie.
What Mommy doesn't like is that when the house is clean that we do it.
Yeah.
Mommy likes her house clean. That's the main part.
We like a clean house in the Levene house.
You do.
We all do.
No, we do, but you're the one who likes to be the one.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, everyone, listen. I want to start tidying the kitchen. So it's been wonderful to see all of you. Have fun, at least.
And Julia, I'm excited to see your picture.
It's working well. Can you see? Working well.
Lisa and Mark, fantastic.
It
Thank
is.
you very much.
It is.
Yeah. Great.
That was terrific, Rabbi. Really.
Thank
brilliant.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Go.
Thanks, Lisa and all the girls.
Your pictures. We want to see.
Where do you want us to send it to, Rabbi?
Put them on Facebook and tag Lisa and me, or email us, or WhatsApp us, or just drop pictures round. Wherever you want.
We really want to see your pictures. Yeah. I'm going to force Mommy to show me them.
God bless.
Lucy's all the thought, but yeah.
Goodbye, Shalom.
Thank you. Bye.
God bless.
Bye.